So, welcome. In this video, a little teaser. We will only talk about AMC and GME. I will show the whole fractal. I will show a little update on both. But the main point from this video is we will backtest the theory about the synchronization between AMC and GME, Silver, SPY, and Bitcoin. If you're interested, just stay tuned. So, as always, I'm using this method, the Fractal Method. I will link the standalone explanation video again at the end of this video, or you just search for the playlist Fractal Method on my channel. Well, then let's jump into AMC. I will, in short, just go through everything, so also new people understand what we are talking about. So all in all, without any method, we're looking at this whole chart on the 24-hour. This is just a megaphone pattern. Yeah? In 2020, we came close to this trend line. I mean, it depends how you draw it. You could also draw it like that or like that. But all in all, we came close. We nearly bounced on it. And of course, we hit our head at the upper trend line the second time. Then we fell lower. In 2024, in April, we touched it, got our little squeeze, and then we fall again. And right now, we are close to this trend line again. For price targets, everyone who is already watching me longer will know my price targets are up here. So something depends when we squeeze, 800 to 900-ish. Also, I'm one of the guys who are saying we will do a two-part squeeze, not a one-part squeeze, just because we did the same thing in 2020 and 2021. And when you are interested in fractals, that's the point what we are tracking. So we are tracking that this here is this whole thing just way bigger. And we are looking for this move. And in that move, there wasn't a one-part squeeze. Of course, now some people will say, yeah, but this time it will be different. Okay. If this time is different, in my opinion, it could be. But if this time is different, you're not allowed to use anything to compare with. Because if it's different, it's not like the past. If we are tracking that it will do the same thing like in the past, there won't be a one-part squeeze. But to say that if we're getting a one-part squeeze, fine. I mean, I will be happy. Same thing, in short, we will squeeze from the bottom. Whenever we get the bottom, we instantly squeeze. Yeah? I just have to say that we didn't do that in 2020. We didn't do that in 2024. We didn't do that in 2025. Here again, people will say, yeah, this time is different. Fine. Then you are still not allowed to use the past. How long it will take? Well, if we look in 2021, it took you from your V to the end of the higher low 9 days. In 2024, it took you from the V to the end of the V 24 days. And in 2025, it took you from the V to end of the higher low 26 days. And then you added a little channel. So let's say Friday, January 2nd, was your V, your absolute bottom. Well, because of 2024, it was 24 days. 2025, it was 26 days. I would say it will take now 28 days. Where does that put you? Well, Friday, January 30. And we all know AMC and GME like to run on a Monday. So would be perfect, wouldn't it? What will happen? Now first, are we already got the bottom? Well, thing is, let's look on a lower time frame. I am always saying to finish the bottom, you need, of course, first a bottom, an all-time low, a V, and after that, you need a higher low. So, since Friday, we didn't broke or touched 150. So yeah, you could say that this little thing here is already your V, and this is your micro higher low. As long as we are not touching 150, I'm not really saying not touching. There's no double bottom. As long as we stay at least at 151, this could be your bottom. Well, and in that case, you would already have done your micro higher low. But that doesn't mean you're ready to squeeze. Because the thing is, this micro higher low means nothing to this whole thing. So we still need a macro higher low, which, if this is already the micro higher low, we could start it now. In that way, we wouldn't, in my opinion, break $2. It would look like, make it absolutely correct. So if this is also our micro higher low, we go up to our A, B, C, lower high, midpoint, T. Yeah, so here would be your A, your B, your C, your lower high, midpoint, T. And in the moment we're dropping under V, under A, and even it's only 1 cent, that's your buy-in, in my opinion. And in my opinion, there are good chances that this point is January 30. Yeah? Then you have the possibility to squeeze, not before that. So what will happen after that? Well, let's look. We have this nice trend line, which we never broke. Everyone knows that. If we're doing a 1-part squeeze, okay, then we just go up there, fine. If it will be a 2-part squeeze, where will be the 2-part? Well, we just look at 2020. Here's our A, here's our B. Here's our all-time low. Then we take the fib retracement and watch where we bounced. Exactly nearly at the 28, at the 0.61. Breakout, retest, doing bullshit, up to the squeeze. And that's the point. So let's do that if we already bottomed here too. We don't want to fall under this trend line again. We're taking the 0.5. We're looking for January, February. That would mean 150-ish. Yeah. So you would come up, hit your head here, come down to the 0.618, would be something around 8. This is your first part squeeze. Then you will do over most likely 5-6 months this bullshit, like the same like we did here. And some midsummer, late summer, winter, you're doing the second part squeeze. We won't get a B pullback because we didn't had that in 2020 and 2021 either. And that's why I don't like when people are saying we are doing 100% a 1-part squeeze, because if people are believing that, people won't sell here. And if you play options, this move will kill you. Yeah. Okay. Did I miss anything? The alternative. What if this wasn't the button? Because we could easily say this too. In that case, this would be just a little hump. Here would be your C, your lower high, and this right now would just be M. In that case, if you don't know the fractal yet, every of these points has a starting point, so L as its starting point here, but it's only ending with a lower point. So L is ending here. This whole thing is L. In that way, here's your M start, but M wouldn't have been finished yet. Would mean you still have to come lower, then you come up T. So the bottom may not in yet. Just saying. But for if it's in, we are not allowed to break or touch this line. Otherwise, we will go more on. And then we have to start again with the 28 days. Okay. I think that was everything for AMC. Now let's look at GME on the completely zoomed out versions. So also here, if we say IPO till Monday 2024, this was just our little higher low. Then from February, what is that? February 2003 till April 2020, this was just A. From April 2020 till April 2024, this was just B. And now we're on the way to our C. And this little thing here from April 2024 till today, it's just the higher low of B. So whenever we are finished, which I will show in a second, what is the squeeze price target? Well, for me, you won't hear from me $5,000. I'm taking this trend line. In that case, you will end your squeeze around 350. Yeah, you maybe go a little bit over it. So let's say 400, 500 in the best case, but not higher. This is my price target for GME. That's also why I think this time AMC could be the better play. So, is GME finished? Well, the thing is, if we are thinking that AMC isn't finished, well, then GME can't be finished because they are going in sync and both go at the same time, so it can't be finished. I still have two versions. One version would be because everyone is talking about this is our higher low. It's not working for me just because, you see, this was your M. M isn't closing with a lower point. That would be the only way that in this case my rules get an exception, and this was your T. I don't like that, but GME sometimes do that. So in this case, this was your V. This is your higher low. You already did your V and A. So this would be higher low. And we would be ready to run, right? Yeah, but if GME is ready to run, why isn't AMC ready to run? Just because if GME is finished, it would do this. This would be your A, breakout retest, and then you go. In that case, this would be also January 30. GME is finishing its A pullback, AMC is finishing its higher low, and then both run. What I'm really thinking is because I already saw that. The last days, look, GME is running. Yeah. For me, this is just T. And to say that, just look at all these points here. Look at this point. Look at this point. This point. Look at especially this point. This point. This point. Yeah. I don't want to get you into a bad mood, but GME is known for these candles. Yeah? I would agree with you if this run would have gone over to here, that would have been bullish. The point that I want to make is we didn't went higher than this point. We stopped here and we went down. That's not bullish for me. Yeah. So for me, this was T. What does that mean? Well, this is only micro tracking T. This whole thing is for me T and not higher low. That means you have to go lower at least 1 cent than 1961. And for me, I think our price target is 1758. There you will get a bounce and then you go. Yeah. And I still think we will get that. Maybe not this week, but I'm still looking for this or next week. Could be wrong. Maybe, maybe not. Okay. So much for the little update on AMC and GME. Now to the main point of this video. We will talk about the synchronization between silver, Bitcoin, SPY, IWM, and AMC and GME, because silver will squeeze the memes, same as SPY, IWM, and Bitcoin. Okay. So we start with silver. And I will make that absolutely easy. So on the left side, we have AMC on the 24-hour. Why the 24-hour? Just we also, and not the daily, just you see the after hours movements too. And on the right side, we have the silver futures, also on the 24-hour. So this here is 20 and 21, our squeeze. So this was your C, your B, your A. This was our V on January 2021. Okay. And then we look, what did silver do in the same time? So you see here on the left side, when I'm looking at January 21, I'm also looking on the right side of January 21. The thing is, what I want to point out, when AMC was going to squeeze, what did silver do? Nothing. This was what silver was doing. And now comes the point. Before that, silver had a squeeze. I agree. In March 2020, silver started squeezing. AMC just did its try peak back then. It took from the absolute top of the silver squeeze, it took you 146 days for AMC to squeeze. So, what is silver doing now? You really want to think? That's my point I want to make. Silver is in its squeeze. Maybe this is already the top, maybe not. I'm not tracked it. So let's say this was the top. Should we really now add 146 days? And then AMC and GME is ready to squeeze? That would be June. So this sync means nothing. the only way you could say it, this time it's different again. Okay. Let's look at Bitcoin. So here on the right side, the 24 hours from Bitcoin. Also 2020. So let's look. When AMC squeezed in January 2021, what did Bitcoin do? It topped out already. Or it was in its first state of the M pattern, as I like to say. Yeah. The only problem right now is if we put Bitcoin also on the left side and we look what Bitcoin did right now, you see this? You have this hump, fall down, make a bigger hump, is still in a higher low. So if there's any synchronization, then the memes should have squeezed in November 2024. And we would already be squeezed yet. Because AMC squeezed here in January 2021. And you can compare this pattern easily. Yeah, it even looks like the same. But we are already here. So to say there is synchronization with Bitcoin? No. The only thing you could no, not yet. It maybe was in 2020 and 2021, but not right now. Yeah. Okay. Next point. Synchronization with SPY. So let's look. Again, 24 hours for SPY and 24 hours for AMC. So when AMC squeezed, SPY was just in the middle of its run. Yeah. If you zoom out, you have here V, and you ran to your next top in 2022 before you got a pullback, and in the middle or end of the run, AMC squares. So let's compare this to now. Where is SPY now? I mean, that's a point you could really make. If you compare this movement here with this movement here, yeah, in that case, you could really do that. Because you had here your V, you have your run, you broke over all-time highs, you broke over all-time highs. You could even say that this version here would be this version here. So that means, yeah, maybe. Yeah. In that case, people are always saying AMC will squeeze with the next gap up from SPY. Yeah. So that means we would still have to go up, getting a gap up, and we would be ready. I agree. I could really see that. Yeah. It's only the question, is SPY really? I mean, I have tracking for SPY, you know that it will top out in February. Could be if we really starting to go quick, but that's working. So for SPY, synchronization is working. Okay. Next one is Bitcoin. Not Bitcoin, IWM. Is IWM synced with memes? So, right side again, IWM on the 24-hour. In 2021, IWM was in the end of its run. Just saying. It already was near its top and ran sideways. In the same time, AMC and GME squeezed. So let's look where IWM is now. Not really, in my opinion. If you compare this, then you have here V, you have here V. You broke here all-time highs with a gap. You broke here all-time highs with a gap. You went up. You went up. You're doing the sideways shit. You're doing the sideways shit. And in the worst case, IWM is already in the range for top out. So IWM is not synced, in my opinion. We are not doing the same thing right now. Because with this sync, MC and GME should already have been squozen. Oh, wait, I think I did a little mistake. Yeah, we have to compare this with this. Sorry. So we have to compare it with 2025. Okay. That case, we have our V, we have our V. If you make mistakes, you have to show that. So in that case, I mean, we already broke over all-time highs, but movement technically this here would be this, this would be this. It's even better. And we went over all-time highs already, but if we say fractals are repeating itself, we are still looking for this one right now. So we would add this one here. Again, still is a problem here, because in 2020, we squoze at the end of this run. Yeah, not here, not here. I know so many other people are saying, IWM is gapping. Simultaneously, AMC and GME will do it, like in 2021. But it's not true, because in 2021, memes squoze at the end of the IWM run, saying it would be the same like AMC and GME squoze in November 2020. No, they squoze in January, 2 months later. So you can say this time is different again. But if you're saying like in 2021, you're just lying or you don't see it. In that case, memes will squeeze at the end of the IWM run. Okay? So, what did we learn? Silver isn't working. Bitcoin isn't working. IWM isn't working. SPY could work. But you're still comparing big indices with two small meme stocks. It doesn't matter what AMC and GME is doing for IWM and SPY. Just saying. There was maybe a synchronization in 2020 and 2021. Maybe it was just coincidence. Synchronization is only working when you see multiple times that they're doing the same thing. Like AMC and GME, every time one is running, the other one is running too. Yeah, that's synchronization. Only because SPY and IWM ran one time, which they clearly didn't, isn't proving anything. Okay? So, let's see what both of them give us this week. As always, if you liked it, give me a like. I will put the explanation video here, playlist here, and if you want to see more, abo here. Let's see how we will end this week. See ya.